Oh, I see. I'm on the wrong thing. Hello, everyone. Hold on a second while I get this ready to go. Liz has thrown me off a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. I throw myself off all the time. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Soul Live. And once again, Liz has decided to join me. I still haven't scared her off. She keeps, so that's a good thing. And tonight we will be going over, or this afternoon, whatever time zone you're in, we will be going over Netflix's The Atlas, starring Jennifer Lopez. And this was released on May 24th. The budget of $100 million. So not too shabby for a sci-fi flick. It concern what real quick. Atlas Shepard is an analyst with a deep distrust of artificial intelligence and searches for fugitive AI terrorist Harlan, who 28 years ago led a rebellion that left 3 million dead before fleeing into outer space. After one of Harlan's agents is captured and interrogated, Atlas discovers that Harlan has escaped to a planet in the Andromeda galaxy and insists that she joins the military mission to find and capture him. So that's basically what it's about, right? I mean, she's after Harlan,
She's
and
after, she's after Harlan, but remember, Harlan was their house bot when she was growing up, and she was very good friends with Harlan. So
right.
the whole thing of him becoming a traitor kind of really irked her in a not so friendly way. So she is determined now that he has become the leading terrorist, in fact, the first and only original AI terrorist. So she wants this whole thing to stop.
Well, that's true, and he's, I guess, been on the run for 28 years, which is pretty decent. And so, and it's just for and they go after him, and she has this deep mistrust of AI ever since then. Like you said, she was the house spot. He was the house spot, and he kind of lost. He kind of went rogue, and killed her mother, as we find out later. So this is,
Killed her mother and over 3 million people.
yeah. Well, still, that's that's true. But still, for her to lose her mom, that wasn't the first thing that happened to her. Cat had to be traumatic too.
Correct.
I mean,
Especially after her father had already left them years before.
yeah. But the only part I did, maybe you can explain this to me, is that when she, as a little child, interacted with Harlan, he saw all these flashes of how humanity, how humanity was. Is that what he was? Was he reading her mind, getting these images? I don't, because
I,
some of the,
I don't think he was so much reading her mind as I think he was experiencing what he saw in the world and what he saw on the news. And
okay,
he wanted to change that, and he figured out a way to break his code so he could input other codes into other AIs so they could, for lack of a better term at the time, they had good intentions to clean it up and to clean up mankind because they figured AIs were better. And it just all went really wrong.
okay. Well, Shepard. So I thought it was a pretty decent flick. For CGI so far. I mean, some of the storyline and the script was kind of ho hum, and nothing was surprising. But you know, they do
But
find.
I gotta say one thing for Jennifer Lopez. I was surprised to see her in this kind of a role. Um, The last kind of action role I think that I have seen her in was years ago. Oh, why can't I think of it now? The one where she was like a Tomb Raider.
Okay,
I don't know if you remember that one or not.
I
That's the
know.
last time I really saw her as an action type. And even though she wasn't that much of an action in this, I've only seen her in the last maybe 10, 15 years doing rom coms. So this kind of surprised me.
Well, yeah, that's where I see her too, is in rom coms. I catch one every once in a while, but that was that's but to me it was like, well, got to expand, and maybe she liked this script, I guess. So I mean, or maybe so maybe she had to get away from Ben Affleck for a while and went to film this movie. I'm not quite sure. Uh, I'm just kidding. I don't think about Ben Affleck and her relationship.
This movie was already in the works when they were so thinking about getting married.
Yeah, I mean, I just watched her documentary on some streaming service. Maybe it was Netflix, where she's, I don't know, some kind of reality thing that she was doing, and I can't remember the name of it. But I watched that before I saw this movie, so you know, her what was she doing? She was doing, I don't know, she was just hanging out. Well, not hanging out. She was doing other projects, but her and Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck's trying to find out if she forgave him for all this earlier crap. And I'm thinking that was so long ago. What are we still talking about this? But anyway, that's not what we're talking about today. Uh, so, but I thought, when they get to the planet and everything goes, of course, to hell, and they all flee this breaking up ship and escape in their mech armor. And, you know, she's not too happy that the mech armor was on board the ship because she didn't expect it.
True. I do think backing up just a bit before that
Okay.
she ever actually left the planet, when she had insisted to be on this mission, and then she found out um, from the agent that was in charge of it, that was played by Sterling K. Brown, that they were all interfaced from the AI and the human, which was a project her mother had originally started and shut down because it was way too dangerous.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
So now here they are, re-interfacing 28 years later.
Yes. And she was not too keen on that at all.
No, she was not.
But that was the price of admission in a way. And she tried not to until she got into the body armor or the mech unit or whatever you want
Yeah.
to call it. And they get, and, you know, and they all land on the planet. And as far as she knows, she's the sole survivor. And she's surprised that the mech unit, well, the mech unit tries to, talks to her and tries to, the mech unit was called Smith, right? Is that
Yes.
Yeah, so all I can think about when they say it was Smith is Dr. Smith from Lost in Space.
It's
That's the only thing I can, only thing that enters my mind when they say Smith is, oh, Dr. Smith. I don't know, it wasn't anything to do with Dr. Smith of Lost in Space. And I mean the original series, not the
the
Netflix
remake. Yeah.
reboot. So we have to get our decade straight. So I thought it was interesting, that mech wanted to join with her, but she would refused. And I guess her only love was black coffee with 3 sugars. Is that correct?
Something like that.
3 or 4
Americano,
sugars.
Cafe Americano, or something. I believe is what she called it.
Something,
I
pretty.
I love I love how when she was just setting off and on board the ship, and she tried to get her coffee order, and they shut her down because she had had too much of her daily allotment of caffeine, and she tried to override it, and they're like, "Caffeine is not caffeine is a diuretic. That's not good for people in space."
Yeah, yeah. You know, well, we were. That's the. I mean, you know that is future. That we're already there today, where we're being told what not to eat and drink half the time anyway. So everything everything's on the list to avoid, but we don't care. We eat it anyway. But putting sugar in coffee may not be favorable to other pure coffee drinkers. But
So long as it's not coffee made out of monkey poop, I'm good.
yes. So her, so her and Smith are trying to find Harlan and survive on this planet. Well, actually, they're trying to get to the pod, right, to escape,
Mm-hmm.
maybe,
Correct.
before they can get spotted. Because uh, who was the baddie that kept coming back? Costco,
Oh, don't ask me to pronounce his name.
but
Yeah, but no, yeah, the one that had the head in the suitcase after he got caught that she was
yeah,
interrogating
yeah.
thought she had killed.
But talk about someone that wouldn't die.
Yeah.
He kept coming back, but he still somehow was able to transfer his memory back across all these different AIs, which is interesting. So he had backups for backups for backups. So I mean, did you feel now? This was interesting as I was watching this movie. I was like, well, because it took place mostly with Atlas inside the mech talking
Inside
to
the
Sid.
mech. Well,
And it just
I
reminded
love.
me. Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say I love how she at that point when they're trying to get off the destruction of the ship, where she agreed to go ahead and interface, with the mech, and it's the mech's name was Smith. And I love how they actually learned about each other more, and the mech started to understand, more of the creation, of how everything came to be, and that her mother was the one who created Harlan, which I think we already had an idea before this,
Right.
but she kind of started to share more of that, and they were getting along.
They were. And but as I was watching this, I was thinking, this is just like if there's a whole Iron Man movie with just Tony Stark in his armor talking to Jarvis, but with
Yeah,
more
kind of.
but with more zingers, because that's what I was thinking of when I was watching this movie. Hey man, this is just why would But I mean, there would have been more zingers with Stark and Jarvis, but
Okay, okay. I thought you were reversed. I thought you were saying there's more zingers with this one. I'm like, it's pretty hard not to get the same zingers as Tony Stark. I'll be honest. But yes, now
well,
that you
but some
corrected
kind
that,
of
yeah.
repartee where it would kind of. I mean, there's kind of some humorous lines here and there, but mostly it was. But still, I'm not saying this, but I just got the feeling that that should have been because she spent most of the movie in this mech armor. So I mean, that's what and all the screens and everything else. So and the CGI is wonderful for $100 million, and
Yeah.
that's one of the pluses for this movie.
Do you know if they filmed it on? Oh,
They actually filmed it on an alien planet.
no. I'm trying to think of the huge wraparound screen. We have used it for the Ark, and I know that Star Trek, uh, especially Strange New Worlds, is using it. And I cannot think of the name of that particular CGI that was done, but it's a huge, huge wraparound screen.
It probably was, because I mean, look how it looked and felt, and the cinematography was also awesome in this
Correct.
on this film. I mean, the only thing you have to get past, I mean, the script wasn't that strong, and I mean, it was clear cut A to B, but you enjoy the ride, and if you like J Lo, well, then that's even an added bonus, or one of the other actors, because they all seem to have not just called this one in.
No, exactly. And like I said, there's was a couple actors that are um, Emmy Award winners, 3-time Emmy Award winners. So it wasn't just, oh, we're going to pull the bottom of the barrel actors to get together with this. They actually had a good cast.
Well, they did. I'm not saying. I mean, I'm just saying
Well,
that. Yeah, they did have a good.
yeah,
They had a great cast to work with this script that could have used some help.
yeah.
But to me, it was a fun
Um,
ride, and because I mean the CGI, the everything else, and if I'm just put it down to look, if you like J Lo or you need some kind of brain dead entertainment for for an hour and a half, well, this is the movie for you. I mean, don't expect. I mean, it's great to watch for the CGI and the battles, the mech battles that happened in the
yeah.
so and some of the trauma that happened to Shepard and stuff. I mean, when because and the other guy that survived. Uh, I can't remember his name, but the Colonel, he survived.
Oh,
And
yeah, because that was somebody else that I looked up to because I've seen it in so many different shows.
so, and it was his last name was what was his last name? Oh, Colonel Elias Bank, I believe, was his last name, played by Sterling K. Brown.
Okay, well, no, Sterling is the one that I was talking about regarding the multiple different awards and things. I thought you were talking about General Booth, who was played by Mark Strong.
Well, yeah, but he only shows up at the beginning and the end. I mean, he does a good job acting, but it's not like he's throughout the movie.
Okay.
And I'm just saying that we find out that Brown did survive. Because at first we just think it's Jennifer or Atlas that survived.
Yeah.
Casca, right, is played by Abraham Papula. He was
Um.
he was the AI that kept coming back. So,
Yes. 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 Yes.
but
Casca. That's right.
yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. But the Colonel,
Oh, that's okay. I get you off track. I'm sorry.
no, I get myself off track. Uh, but the Colonel, you know, he shows up, so there's two of them, but there's still a lot more AI mechs than there is those two. So it's an interesting situation, and they're still trying to get to this pod to get off the planet, but they finally come face to face to Harlan in their pursuit as they're
Correct.
trying to leave, and and the general has to sacrifice himself so she can escape.
You
Toward
know,
the
yeah, toward the end. Um, but it's still going back to what I was saying. Harlan was not necessarily all bad. He had part of the right idea. He was going to save some of mankind, basically the best of mankind, and create basically this whole new world, this whole new humanity with these chosen survivors.
yeah,
They were going to live and do everything under the AI's guidance and everything because the AIs thought that they were better than mankind and they could keep us on track basically and not
true.
be killing each other off in wars and all that. And now you're getting me back and forth off track.
I'm sorry. Yeah, but no matter if you tried it, no matter that doesn't even work too because no matter if you try to save all the good, they're still going to break down into cliques. I mean,
Oh,
that's
yes.
that's just the way
And,
humankind works. We break down into cliques, and then we go. Eventually, not always, but it's hard to
well,
find.
that was why it was AI, it was artificial intelligence. It did not have the thinking that mankind does. It doesn't have
No,
the feelings and the freedom of free will.
no, it does not, and that's. But still, still the terrorist AI was still killed 3 million people, so it has to go down.
Ah,
So, and that's what they're out to do. But I found the movie pretty entertaining.
I will agree. It for just kind of sitting there chilling, kind of like you said, kind of turn your brain off for a little bit and just watch something fun and light and enjoyable. It worked.
Yeah, and but but we knew what was going to happen with Smith and Atlas as the movie progressed. She would be weary of Smith, but by the end, they were buddy buddy. And you get a little bit emotional when Smith had to kind of turn himself off and died there.
Yeah, because even though it was artificial intelligence, it was something that you had connected to. That because they did share this interface, I think it was a little bit different than just your normal house robot.
That is true. They did. They finally merged or whatever you want to call it, did a mind meld, and so could that have been part of the movie's message? Was that we may not trust AI, but we should learn to trust it and have an emotional attachment to our future AI overlords. I'm
Oh
just
God, I hope not. I hope not. I'll be the first one to start carrying massive magnets.
I mean, there are. I'm sure there. Anyway, the future of Lonely Men Love Dolls is in the making with the AI stuff.
There
Uh,
are, there are, they have been for years.
yeah, but I'm sure. Yeah, I mean that not just men. I'm sure there are things for everyone.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I felt emotional too. I can't say that I was sitting here stone cold Steve Austin. I was like, oh man, poor guy, and got my tissue out. But it was sad because I mean, it wasn't just he had emotions and he seemed real enough, right, Liz?
Oh, he definitely
Or
did.
it, or
You
it,
formed an attachment. You well, it was definitely a male, and just like the other one that was there, it was like it didn't want to be called an it. It's a he
yeah.
or him, and the other one was a she or her.
Oh
So
yeah, the one.
you definitely get that attachment. You know, Also because, like I said, you're interfaced with them.
Right, right. But we as humans we grow attached to all kinds of stuff. I mean, even inanimate objects that have nostalgia uh, for us. We hold dear from
Oh,
whatever.
definitely, definitely.
So I mean, it's not like we. So let alone it's whatever we can find. It's weird how how people are, or some people, oh, that's my favorite car. I'm not gonna get rid of it ever, or my favorite,
Hmm.
or whatever you want to call it. It could be or something, but it just brings back for some people. Those items people bring back memories for people. So
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
it's
The
not
one thing that bugged me um, with the ending, that actually it was a decent like hook to possibly coming up with a second movie, although I'm sure they won't. But when Atlas finally got back on Earth, she found out that Harlan had so complicated the CPUs, it was going to take a huge amount of years to even analyze the project. So
right, right. You're correct about that, and I don't know how well it did on Netflix. I mean, I don't know. I've never tried to look and see if you can find out how things do. I guess you can find out how. I guess you're still going by what Netflix feeds you. I mean, as far
true.
as how many watches and
Now you had said that you got a little choked up when Smith shut down.
yeah,
You did catch the ending, didn't you? In the very ending, you got what was going on.
yeah,
So we kind of pretty much know that Smith's program survived.
right, Yeah, I know that. But still, but we get to live in the moment. I mean,
True, true, because you
in
didn't
that
know that was
moment when
coming.
Smith
Yeah.
was down, was being whatever killed or whatever you want to call it, or his programming, whatever was going to cease to exist. And and J Lo sold it that she really cared for this MechBot finally because
Yeah.
they had that interface. So I mean, she sold it. For me, she did anyway. I thought she sold it that she really had an attachment finally for Smith. So that's but before he even died, we had all kinds of, like I said, a lot of action. Anything else stand out for you?
Not really. You did touch on the CGI, which I thought was really, really awesome with a lot of stuff, especially the spaceships. You know, I really thought that was really cool the way they did a lot of that. And as a mutual friend of ours likes, if he ever does see it, I would love to see Greg's responses to how well the CGI was with the ships. That's his thing.
Yeah. So I mean, it's there's really nothing here in my notes. I mean, the movie. I guess we already talked about it. The movie relies on old style tropes. There's nothing. There's no twist. No twist in the end. I mean, it's just a good fun
That's,
watch. That's all.
yeah, and even that twist in the end is a trope. I mean, we kind of suspected it was coming anyway.
Yeah. So, but I enjoyed it. I mean, compared to some other sci-fi movies, this one, it's not the worst. So come on. And
Definitely not the worst.
but still only a budget of 100. But well, Netflix spending 100 million on Atlas
Yeah.
instead of spending that money to save to do another season. That's one of our other favorites that we'd rather see. But
No comment here at all. 'Cause there are so many I would love to see.
I know. Well, that goes back to well, how much
Quantum Leap.
both of us like the NFL, but still, when Netflix was trying to get Christmas games for 100 million, I'm thinking, no, put that
Yep.
money to better use. Get away, go
Yes.
renew some series that everybody's clamoring for instead of doing that. So
Yeah, but at the same token, this was theaters versus, you know, television. So
yeah, well, I mean, I don't
network.
mind them spending 100 million on this sci-fi thing. I guess I'd rather them not spend 100 million on NFL games than renew other things or put it to use to get other better programming since they're charging us so much these days for that service
True.
and keep wanting to bother you every time to see if you're still watching. Oh my
That's the
god,
truth.
I can't. You're trying to watch something and then you're ready. Oh, we're gonna go. Oh, are you still watching? Who cares? Why do they care if we're still watching? It just drives me crazy. I mean, that's what I miss about having the old cable or the old antenna TV. You just turn the damn TV on, just let it go. It doesn't ask you what you want to do.
True.
And even though you push that button where continue, don't ask me again. That only lasts for your one session. Once you log out and come back in, well, then it starts all over again, and they want to keep bugging you. I think I've complained about that on some Netflix Facebook pages, but I don't think it'll get anywhere. I'm trying to start a movement, but I don't think it's going to happen. So,
Yep.
anyway, that's neither here nor there. Just to complain about Netflix that I have because I'm of an age where I'm used to turning on my TV and just letting it go. I don't.
I think a lot of the reason it's streaming that it asks you, "Are you still watching?" Because a lot of people, especially the younger generation, like my daughter and my niece and a bunch of other people I know, will leave it on and streaming, and then they'll walk off.
So,
And if you're not watching it, there are so many. Sometimes there's so many. If it's a new movie and it's very popular, or a new release of something that's very popular, they will have so many people trying to stream. It will slow down the lag time.
but I'm paying a monthly fee.
Yeah,
Like I
that's
said, but like I said, I mean, like your daughter. I mean, you know, growing up or before all this streaming stuff happened, or if you used to have cable or whatever, you just turn on your TV and just let it go.
oh yeah,
There's noise in the background sometimes, right, Liz?
that's how I done it my whole life. That or radio.
Yeah, yeah. And you don't want to have noise in the background. I wonder what happened to the noise. Why I go tell Netflix I'm still watching the damn thing. So you know. But sometimes instead of that, sometimes my noise is not just Netflix. It might just be the radio or the Indians game on the radio. So I still listen to a radio. I don't care, even though it's on my cell phone.
Hey, I'm the same way. I have huge playlists.
Yeah, but yeah, I just have different, But anyway,
We're off topic.
anyway,
I think we probably just about
it's
covered
not
everything.
it's not a show with us unless we get off topic.
This is true.
I mean, if you don't go on a tangent, the show is counterfeit, people.
This is why we don't record.
Yeah, that is if there's no tangent, it's probably watching a bootleg that's been altered or something, or AI developed. I have a buddy of mine who's using AI to sing his songs from AI to put on his YouTube channel. He'll write the lyrics, and you go to this site, and it adds music, what kind of type of music you want or genre, and
Oh, no.
yeah. Well, it's kind of cool if you can't sing and can't play anything. You just say, let's see what this does. But I think it's called Sinu, Sinu, maybe, or Sinu, or something like that. But anyway, I'm surprised I mean, it's not too bad, but that's what AI is doing. I mean, I've looked at, when you do AI, you can have it write articles for you and all this crap. And sometimes it gets all crazy. What the hell are you talking about? And sometimes AI writes a better thing than what the.
That's why the actors and the artists behind it and writers went on the strike. They don't want their images and their works to be done by AI.
Well, that's true. And nobody wants that. And I'm just saying there's programs out there that have nothing to do with that. It's just it. But, and the thing about when you have a film like Atlas and it's so new, it's hard to find images like as where if you go back and go and do Aliens or something like that. So, but yeah, so anyway,
one day we need to review Battleship. Yep.
Okay.
I think you'd like that one.
All right, well, my son and I did Aliens last Sunday. Finally got around to doing a show together. So
Awesome.
That's on the Sull Live YouTube channel. I didn't think that was a test, so I didn't put it everywhere. So I mean, you know what I mean. So
I know what you mean. But anyways, if we are done with Atlas, I think we probably should go ahead and wrap it up.
Let's see, where are we? Well, Roger wants us to always end on a certain time.
Oh, we're fine.
But like I said, I do. Well, real quick, I recommend the movie. It's good CGI, and if you like J-Lo or you just want something to watch when you want to just be brain dead after an exhausting day at work or whatever, or a bad day, just flip it on, and that's fine. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there, but I do recommend it. It's good sci-fi too, and it is also gives a message for the current message for how AI is coming along, well, how it has been coming along for the last 100 years. So
Correct.
it's just that everybody AI seems to be getting more and more into the headlines as being something that we may have to worry about in a Terminator way.
Yeah. And that's exactly what the beginning of this movie made me feel. It felt like the Terminator just updated.
Yeah. So, the Terminator thing may have just been a decade off or so,
Yeah.
but it could. Anyway. So, I guess if you're right, I mean, like I said, check it out. And that's all I have, really.
Alrighty.
Are you done too, Liz? Or are we done with this?
I'm pretty much done.
Okay, well, everyone, thanks for watching or future watching or past watching, depending on if you have a TARDIS or not.
And come join us on Wednesday night for one of the actors from the site who will be on at 6 p.m.
That is true. And on Saturday mornings, Sports Talk with the guys. So check that out. Put NDB Media in your Google, and everything will pop up that you should be watching or listening to as in the background or as anything else. With that, I bid you adieu. I think that's the term, isn't it?
It is.
All right. Sometimes I get things confused. All right, people. Take care. Talk at you later. And maybe later on in the week, there'll be an episode of the Almighty Sports Show, too, going over the first half of Sunday Night Football on NBC and the game from Brazil, too, on a Friday. So just think about it. Opening week, you have a game on Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. So, wow. And Monday. So a lot of football when the season opens in 4 short months. All right. Good day, everyone. Have a good